I mean, people either know it and love it, or they might have not a clue about what we're talking about. So, Lenora, why don't you just sort of outline what you're doing in a television screen in a sort of poltergeist sort of way, isn't it?
Okay.
Reference.
So at the end of series 2, poor old Annie gets dragged from this world into purgatory. So when we arrive back at series 3, she's communicating through electrical things, radios and TVs and such like.
Is it because as a ghost, was this an exorcism that was performed?
Yeah, of types, yeah, I suppose it was. The character of Kemp, who's a priest in the last series, sort of, yeah, exorcists her out of the world, but she feels not ready, so she's not fully gone.
Wow.
And she's in a holding room. And she just wants to be on TV, so she comes through the TV.
Russell, I'm one of those, Susanna's mentioned people who've never heard of it. I'd heard of it, never watched it before, so I came to this one completely raw. Yeah. And one of the things that works for me so well is the kind of the way the dialogue works. I mean, you know, it's this the werewolf thing and the vampires and everything, but in amongst it, it's set in a very normal setting with the banter and the dialogue, which, I mean, that is the key to it, isn't it? Am I right? Do you think, is that what attracted you to it?
Well, yeah, they're supernatural characters, but they just want to be human, basically. They just want to live a normal life, and so they immerse themselves in a normal domestic house and just try and keep on with that.
And you're the werewolf.
I am.
So do you have to just tell me about the transformation scenes? Because everyone's always fascinated by werewolf transformations from American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
You know, so do you have to at the start of the scene? You know, what do you do physically? Because obviously
physically, normally I completely strip off and stand there naked and wait for the first wave of the full moon to hit me, and then a lot of screaming. And then, yeah, there's a load of prosthetic makeup done, and it normally takes a whole day. The process takes a day.
A lot of whining.
Me as an actor.
Oh, you mean complaining?
I need lemon. I need lemon tea. Need to rest my voice. One more take, that's all I've got. That's what we hear.
Is there so it's a real sort of physical struggle, is it, with your voice?
Yeah, I mean, I look after myself. I hum beforehand in between takes, and I do have lemon tea. Normally it's green tea. I'm avoiding lemon at the minute.
Do you want to sort of imagine a full moon and give us a little werewolf sort of
You wouldn't want that this time in the morning, surely.
What about the opening? I mean, as you start to feel the change.
Yeah. What do you want me to... What do you mean?
What's the first sign of the werewolf taking over?
No, that was me panicking.
Okay.
What's the first sign of the werewolf taking over?
Well, I normally have it in my stomach. I imagine it's coming in my stomach like I've been winded, and it normally takes me over like that, louder, normally. And then it's like it's waves. And then when it finally is full moon, it just completely takes over your body, and I just go for it.
And meanwhile, in between, there are presumably makeup artists and people who are experts in just sort of applying levels of
completely
werewolf.
Yeah, it's a process. So I go up to a certain point, and then I go off and get prosthetic makeup, and they have like animatronic heads which they bring in, operators, and they do that, and then I come back in with more fur and my ears are bigger, which is the last thing I need, and then they just did finish the whole process really, and then I'm sort of done, and then they carry on doing like cutaways of the spine and. Yeah.
And Lenora, were you a fan of all this kind of stuff? You know, vampires and werewolves. You like that kind of thing before you got involved?
Not particularly. I think it's opened up a whole new genre for me. I don't think I mean, I've never sort of shied away from it, but it wasn't that I was a die-hard fan of the genre before I got involved. And so again, for me, the appeal of being human was just how humanistic it was and how sort of real it was. The characters, all their stuff is. It's
character-led, although it is supernatural, which is wonderful. It's about these characters trying not to be supernatural, and that's what's challenging as an actor, is the drama of it.
Well, and the ring finger, length of ring finger relative to the other one, is that a sign of the werewolf?
Is it? You tell me, Charlie. I don't know. Where have you read this? Let's Google this.
As we're talking, Lenora, we see it's Lacey Turner, isn't it, who was in EastEnders, and she played Stacey there, and now she's Leah meeting you. So weird, this idea of imagining an afterlife.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I got the scripts and stuff, I was really excited to see how they would do Purgatory, and. It was like a shower room, basically, with a cage. It's
total glamour.
Yeah, it's no expense spared, but it is really eerie. And again, the fact that it's something that isn't kind of loads of special effects and loads of kind of over-the-top stuff. It's almost sort of worse because and you never actually see what Annie's scared of. So it's that kind of let your imagination do the rest of it.
I was at school with a boy who had vampire teeth.
Oh, really?
That's actually very sexy.
A double set. You know, he had a pair of fangs right at the front.
What, real ones?
Yeah, they were real.
Yeah.
He had
chisel them?
He wasn't really a vampire, though. Just like...
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Do you still know him? Do you still speak to him?
No, don't keep in touch.
Have you got any marks? Lovely to see you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The new
us.
series of Being Human begins this Sunday at 9 o'clock on BBC3.
Now, it's been described as a love story for our times. The film Blue Valentine